Okay, we're back, and in this video we're going to actually look at how to add a new song. I'm sorry I said in the previous video we're going to do that. We ran out of time, but I will include it in this one most definitely. So just a reminder, we've got our playlist here, so I'm just going to select that, a component of that, and we'll find that in our presentation window all the slides appear. Now let's say, for example, that we have a song that we're using for the first time. It isn't on ProPresenter. Now, previously, if you're using PowerPoint, you might have had to look up the lyrics and type them all out. Now, thankfully, we don't have to do that anymore. In fact, the slides are actually made for us. That's because ProPresenter is linked to another piece of online software called Song Select. Now, Song Select contains all the different songs that we might want to use at church. And thankfully, because they're already there, the program can actually import all that information for us. So for example, let's say that we're looking for a song because we've looked at the run sheet that's been printed out for us, and there in front of us is Jesus, Lover of My Soul, an old classic. Now we go to type in our library, Jesus, Lover of My Soul, and we suddenly realize that there is no results in our library. Oh no, it's not there. Now, thankfully, what we can do is we can see just below in Song Select that there are songs with that title available. Now, suddenly we recognize if we just scroll down a little bit, there's actually a lot of variations of Jesus, Lover of My Soul. But usually the most popular version is at the top. Now, to add a song is actually really, really simple. All we do is we click on the song once, and you'll notice that what it does is it actually comes up with the lyrics right there. For example, if I click this second one, we notice that the lyrics are different. Now, we're going to be going for the song by Daniel Gruhl. And so that's the version of Jesus, the Lover of My Soul that we're going to be singing. So now that we know that that's the correct one, all we do is we actually just go up to this page with the plus and we click it. You'll notice that what happens is a little import box pops up. Now, this is actually really important that we get this correct because this will help our slides maintain consistency in our library. So first of all, in terms of our parsing, it should automatically come up, but it will say by paragraph break. You'll notice that the other alternative is line break. Now, line break means that the lyric slides are going to be much, much shorter. It's usually used when live stream video is being played and they're just wanting a small portion of the lyrics at the base. So paragraph break is correct, and just 1 delimiters per slide, that's fine. Here in the document, you'll notice that here on my computer it has defaulted to 1920 by 1080. Now, usually it won't. Usually it will say 1024 by 768. But we do want to change that to 1920 by 1080. Now, the only reason we do that is so that we are actually future-proofing for when our projectors all become HD. So select the size 1920 by 1080, and then in the category it should automatically default here as well, but it should just say lyrics. Now, in our template, what we're going to choose is we're going to choose lyric styles, Avenir full page. Now, that may or may not be there by default, but there it is. I'll do it once again. Our template that we use is lyric styles, Avenir full page. Where it says destination, it's saying it's going to add it to our library only. That's fine. We can do that. Then all we do is go import. There you go. You see it import, and immediately it appears in our library with the slides up here. I'm just going to clear all on our child dedication window up there. As we select these slides, you can see that the lyrics appear. They look great. Really good, in fact. Now, with any new song, before we drag that song into our playlist, what we want to do is we want to set up the song so that it's useful for all future services. And we can do this by adding a little bit of effort whenever we import a new song. It's actually pretty simple. Now, we haven't looked at this before, but I think you're up for it. We can actually edit these slides simply by right-clicking on them and just going Edit Slide. What I'll do is it'll pull open once again another editing window. Now, this window, once again, it saves in real time. So any changes you make will automatically be saved. Just keep that in mind. You don't have to Control S or anything like that. Now, you can see here that the way it has imported the slides, I'm just going to open this up so it's a little bigger, is that it has demonstrated that there is one indicating verse 1, that is a piece of lyric for verse 1, and then chorus 1. Now, some songs will have multiple verses, some will have multiple choruses, bridges, pre-choruses. It automatically helps us out there by including those components. Now, all we need to do in order to help set this up for future users and ourselves is to add a couple of slides that are going to be useful for other purposes. Now, to add another slide, all we need to do is go down to this plus button down here, and there you go, I added another slide. You can use the arrow as well, but that will give you the options, but we don't need to do that. We can just add another slide. We're going to add 2. So always add 2 slides. Select the first slide that you added, okay, and you'll see that there's nothing on there. What we're going to do is we're going to right click on this slide and create a new group. So like you see up here with verse 1 and chorus 1, we're going to create a new group. You can see that there's different options that are given here. We've got an option here called background. We're going to select that, and you'll see that it has automatically changed this new group of slides to background. Now, we only wanted that one single slide to be background, so we're going to select our second slide, create a new group here as well, and this one is going to be called blank. Now, the reason we create a blank slide is so that the copyright information appears after the song is being completed. Now, I'm going to do something a little tricky here, but is well worth doing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add what's called a cue. Now, these components up here, clear all, slides, background, these are all cues. Cues simply mean I want you to do something. Now, we're going to make this blank slide do something automatically. What we can do is right click on this blank slide and go add cue. We move across to add clear action cue, because what I want to do is I want it to actually clear all. So what I'm saying is that when I select that slide, or when that slide is completed, should I say, it will automatically clear all. Okay, so we don't have to. And that is a really good feature. We include this at the end of every song because it just means that the screen goes back to black. So I've done that now, which is great. Now, the only other thing I want to mention is that there is the background can remain blank, and that's totally fine. But the most important thing is don't worry about the order of these slides. The order is not important in this case. These are simply the pieces of the song that we can then later manipulate. So that's the purpose of this. So don't worry if verse 1's down here or chorus 1's up there. It doesn't have to be in the right order. These are like pieces of the puzzle that we will later put together. Now, to close this editing window, we just click this X up here. You'll see that now in the library, that Jesus Love of My Soul has been updated with 4 slides. The 2 that it imported, as well as the background slide we added, as well as the blank slide that we added, with that clear all cue that's indicated in that top left-hand corner. Now let's drag and add that to our playlist. So let's add that to our Worship 02 bracket after Nothing is Impossible. So now if we click on it down here, now it looks like it's only added it at the bottom, but that's because it's at the bottom of our playlist. You can see that it has been added. Now, there is one more thing that we need to do for every song. While it might be tempting if you've used PowerPoint in the past to drag the slides around, we don't do that. That actually won't help the situation at all. What we do, and this is the primary purpose of ProPresenter and what it means to actually be the person on presentation before the service begins, is to essentially what's called set up our arrangements. That is how we're going to arrange the slides, how we would like them to appear. Now, in order to adjust our arrangements, we need to navigate across the title to this little button here that looks a bit like a kind of an information breakdown. I call it a family tree, but that's just what I call it. Clicking it once and sometimes twice will open up the menu here. Now you can see that these slides that we've got down here, these are indicated by these grey boxes. These grey boxes are known as the master slides. That is, these are the pieces that we can use and manipulate. Now this cog next to these master slides, you'll see that says master. When you click master, only these grey slides will appear. We can then add a new arrangement. Now, an arrangement is a choice as to how you would like those slides to appear. For example, we might call this one AM service. That is, in the AM service, we like to sing it this way. We type in AM service, we click OK or press enter, And you'll notice that a series of blue circles that reflect these master slides has appeared below. This is where we can adjust the arrangement. You'll notice there's little X's next to them. That means we can delete them if we need to. Now, generally our arrangement will look like having the background slide first, then however the song is constructed. So in this case, verse 1, chorus 1, and then blank will always be at the end. Now, it may be that the worship leader wants to sing it in a different way. For example, they might want to do verse 1, chorus, then do verse 1 again. Now, in order to change the arrangement, all we do is we click and drag one of these master slides into our arrangement. You can see there now it goes background, verse 1, chorus, verse 1, and it's reflected in the slides below. Then they might go chorus, so we're going to drag that in there as well. They might even do the chorus again. We can drag that in again. And you can see that we're starting to construct the way that the song will be sung. And all the time this is automatically saving under this arrangement called AM service. Now we could create an additional arrangement. We could call another one PM service if we'd like to. Oops, PM service. Because in the PM service, you know what we do? We don't even sing verse 1. We just delete that. We just sing the chorus over and over 4 times. So we can create that arrangement there. I'll move the background slide to the front as where it should be. And that is our PM service arrangement. So you can see now with this cog, we can switch between the PM service and the AM service arrangement, as well as adjust our master slides. Hopefully that makes sense. Arrangements are really, really important in terms of making sure the worship leader knows where they're wanting to go, and therefore as the person on presenter being able to help lead them there. You can close the arrangement window simply by clicking this button once again, and it'll appear with whatever arrangement you have selected, and particularly note it'll be in brackets after the name of the song. So that's really important. So just keep that in mind, that all of this is all a part of constructing our playlist first of all, and then constructing our arrangements in our presentation window. All right, that's enough for that video. I'm going to leave it there, and then in the next video we'll talk about how to then add, say, some sermon slides.